Welcome back to Captured by the Enemy. I'm author Crystal Aceves. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about Chapter 9. Why Chapter 9? Because it covers events that happened in July 1943, which was 80 years ago. Now, Chapter 9, my granddad is getting ready for his second amphibious landing. In prior chapters, I do cover his landing in North Africa, which he landed in November of 1942. Chapter 9 begins with an ancient motto that says, Ex Africa semper aliquid noli. What that means is something new always comes out of Africa. And that is exactly what was happening, as on July 7th of 1943, the American and British Operation Husky was underway. Operation Husky was a large joint operation. There was a lot done to protect the location. Nobody knew where they were going. In fact, the British had executed an operation called Operation Mincemeat, which had tricked Hitler into thinking they were going to land elsewhere. As soon as they were loaded, and my granddad would have been in an LCT with his Jeep, so he wasn't on one of the bigger ships. As soon as he was loaded, they found out where they would be going, and they found out that they were headed towards Sicily. Now, Sicily was a place that a lot of people had expected, but because of Operation Mincemeat, Hitler was the one who was not expecting them to be there, which was definitely to the benefit of the British and the American troops that were getting ready to land. As they made their way across the Mediterranean, on July 9th, 1943, there was a huge storm. In fact, it was such a big storm that the LCT that my granddad was in would chug its way up the huge 15-foot waves and then come crashing down the other side. There was a lot of men who were seasick, and there was a lot of confusion during that time to even know if they were going to make their landing. In my granddad's case, they had gone into the quarters to be protected from the storm, and one of the tank chains snapped. The problem with that is if the LCT became unbalanced in the storm, the whole thing could flip over and they would all drown. So it was important that they get out there and fix the chain. My granddad said that he went out and they formed a human chain holding onto each other's feet as they crawled out, and they made their way to the tank on the other side of the LCT, and they were able to reconnect the chain so that the tank didn't throw the balance of the LCT off. They landed on July 10th. Now that date was strategically picked because of the phase of the waxing moon. They had a lot of things involved in this landing, and there were paratroopers that would be landing earlier. They had already bombed Sicily to take out some of the air support, and the paratroopers would land first, and then the other troops would move in the darkness, and that's why they picked that date specifically. General Patton had said, "Every man is scared in his first battle. If he says he's not, he's a liar. The real hero is the man who fights even though he is scared." Now, this was my granddad's second landing, but I can guarantee you that there was a lot of fear, as there always is on a landing. My granddad landed and was able to get his Jeep off of the LCT. As a Jeep driver, he had an important job and he knew he was going to be busy all the time. Although they were able to move through Sicily quite quickly, there was much more in store for him. And I will cover that in the next video. So follow along, like and subscribe if you'd like to hear when the next video comes out, and I will be covering what happens next. I'll see you next time.